This is to all those who've been listening to old-time radio that I've been podcasting for 12 years. It's time for you to purchase the old-time radio collection now at the lowest prices ever. 500 gigabyte external hard drive chock full of radio shows that we all love. And don't forget the bonuses. Here's my offer. I need everyone who hears my voice to go to oldtimeradiodvd.com to place your order today. With every order, I will include a comprehensive show guide with episode descriptions. Over 1,982 pages. This is truly once-in-a-lifetime deal. Place your order today at oldtimeradiodvd.com. You will be glad you did.
4, 3, 2, 1.
International Rescue are back on Radio 5.
Thunderbirds are go.
Call action stations. Yes, sir. These aircraft must be destroyed.
Yes, sir.
Parker, we are off on a mission again.
We've got to save that next transporter aircraft.
This is International Rescue. Olson! Olson, cut that out!
What was that? I don't like this at all.
He's cut the cable.
Your transporter craft was about to be destroyed by enemy fighters.
He won't make it in time. It's a Cham.
A Cham.
Tonight's episode, the Cham. Introduced by Thunderbird's mastermind, Jerry Anderson.
Radio Maxwell, Paradise Peaks, and the Cass Carnaby Group. Today's story couldn't be anything to do with show business, could it? When I listened to the record again, I was amused to hear the name Radio Maxwell. We were always predicting the future, and we came pretty close on that one. The Cham was about show business through and through. Set in the spectacular hotel, Paradise Peaks, high in the Alps, with show business personalities a dime a dozen. This episode gave our art and wardrobe departments a chance to show what they could really do when it came to a supermarionation version of a Hollywood musical, and they didn't let us down. Bob Bell, who had art-directed most of our films, turned in some spectacular settings. The ski sequences were, in my view, quite stunning, and the puppets skied superbly, thanks to our chief puppeteer, Christine Glanville. I remember at the time thinking that the puppets would be able to ski downhill with comparative ease, but it wouldn't be so easy when they had to climb uphill and use their sticks. So I dreamed up ski thrusters for them, small jets fitted to their skis which would propel them uphill without the puppets having to make too many difficult movements. The idea worked perfectly. And now we go over to Paradise Peaks to hear Wanda Lamour and the Cass Carnaby Group, as featured on Radio Maxwell, sing and play a dangerous game called the Cham.
I wonder if it was a coincidence.
What are you talking about, Alan?
It's that tune, Dangerous Game. Just before the transporter crashed, they were playing it on Radio Maxwell.
Well, so what? What's unusual about that? They must have played that tune 1,000,000 times on the radio in the past month.
Yeah, but they were playing it on Radio Maxwell before the other transporters crashed, too. The first one and the second.
What are you getting at, Alan?
Well, Dad, it's simply that each time these transporter planes have been attacked, the Cass Carnaby 5 have been giving a live performance of their number.
Live? That was pretty observant of you.
But surely the Cass Carnaby 5 can have nothing to do with this business?
Well, there could be a connection, you know. Where are they now?
Right now, they're doing a season at Paradise Peaks.
Hey, isn't that super deluxe hotel high up in the Alps?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think, Brian?
It's certainly an interesting observation that Alan has made. I'll get John in the satellite to radio us a recording of that Cass Carnaby broadcast and see what I make of it.
Right. Meanwhile, we get this hotel investigated. And I know just who to send there.
Oh, very good, milady. What sort of business will it be this time?
Show business, Parker. I believe you have connections in the theatre world.
Oh, yes, milady. Excellent connections.
Wanda Lamour. Well, who the heck's Wanda Lamour, anyway?
She's by way of being a very provocative talk singer.
Look, Nosey, I'd really love to do you a favor, just for old time's sake, but I run a big agency here. I can't send out to Paradise Peaks a singer I've never even heard of.
Now, that is a pity. Because I was in the States last week, and I was only saying to Punchy Patterson...
Huh? Punchy Patterson? I thought he was inside.
Punchy? Now, I ask you, could you see a bloke like Punchy staying long behind bars? With his muscles?
Nosey, what are you getting at? You didn't tell him I'm over this side now, did you?
Well, to tell you the truth, Maxie, I didn't really know what to do. He was in a very anxious state. Very anxious indeed. Kept on about some unfinished business.
Well, all right, Nosey, I get the message. You want to do a deal.
That's right, Maxie. You engage Wanda Lamour at Paradise Peaks.
And you keep your mouth shut. Okay, then. What's this Wanda Lamour like? Is she blonde or brunette?
Good. I think that ought to do the trick. Come in.
Oh, beg pardon, miss. But I was looking for her ladyship.
So you didn't recognize me. Well, it looks as if my disguise is a success. I should go down well.
Well, they say that if you go down well at Paradise Peaks, you'll go down well anywhere.
You see, Alan, repeated melodic patterns from the Cass Carnaby group could be used to impede the efficiency of the aircraft.
But Brains, the transporters each time reported they were under attack. It was the fighters that shot them down.
True, but perhaps the music was affecting their ability to retaliate. However, I agree with you that there could be something in the music. Something like a musical code.
Well, let's try and decode it. Penelope and Tintin will be arriving at the hotel soon. They'll need all the help we can give them.
Her ladyship and Tintin were almost at the hotel. But despite the scenery, Lady Penelope was beginning to have some misgivings about the job ahead.
They weren't joking when they said this was the highest hotel in Europe. It really is a long way up.
Yes, and I do feel rather lost without Parker. I'm beginning to wish we'd taken the Rolls with us.
But remember what they said. It's a very long road and a dangerous one.
Perhaps it's just this disguise that's making me nervous.
Cheer up, Penelope. You'll be all right, provided they don't ask you to sing.
Well, I'm just going to plead a little throat trouble.
That should give us a chance to get on with our investigations for a while.
Look, there it is.
Paradise Peaks Hotel.
As soon as they'd introduced themselves and been shown their rooms, they set about looking around. Lady Penelope had glanced at the hotel register when she came in, but there was nothing to arouse suspicion. It was a real classy place, very modern, and the view from the balcony was fabulous. It must have cost a bomb to stay there, but there seemed nothing to indicate that there was any funny business going on. That evening, after her ladyship and Tintin had dined, they sat watching the floor show.
I just can't believe they've got anything to do with the sabotage business. I can't.
The real cause of their mission had just started his act. The Cass Carnaby Five, and they were playing their signature tune, Dangerous Game, the very tune that International Rescue would take it such an interest in. Right enough, the handsome young man at the piano didn't look the type to be mixed up in anything shady. But until Brains came up with the result, who could tell?
Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to say hello to our next guest star here at the Peaks. I would ask her to sing for you, but unfortunately her opening has had to be postponed because of an infection in her pretty little throat. I give you Miss Wanda L'Amour.
After the show, Tintin went backstage to the star's dressing room.
Gee, Miss Carano, it was real nice of you to come round and see me like this. When did you get here?
Just today. I came with Miss L'Amour.
Oh, yeah. Miss L'Amour. The lady with a frog in her throat.
I must have heard Dangerous Game 1,000,000 times, but it still knocks me cold every time I hear it, Mr. Carnaby.
Well, thanks. You're a bit of a knockout yourself, too, you know. And I wish you'd call me Cass.
All right. Cass. But you must get tired of playing that tune. Don't you sometimes want to vary it, change the tempo or something?
Well, we leave that to Mr. Olson.
Yeah, well, kids, I hate to break this up, but I have some things to attend to. A couple of points I'd like to raise with you, too, Cass.
So Mr. Olson's your musical arranger?
Yeah. Funny guy, but he sure knows the business.
Funny? In what way?
Sometimes he'll make a last-minute change just before we go on the air. Tell you, it drives us crazy. Still, like I say, he knows the business.
Well, it's certainly funny that our paths have never crossed before, Miss L'Amour. I know most of the warblers in show business.
Oh, I've been around, High society keeps me pretty busy.
Yeah, that figures. But you're still a lady of mystery. You've told me everything and nothing. You intrigue me.
Oh, that's enough about me. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Olson. I hear you keep the Carnaby boys on their toes.
What else have you heard?
That you also are a mystery. Tell me, Mr. Olson, what is your secret?
Of my success or of my good looks?
Both, Mr. Olson. Both.
Plenty of beauty sleep, Miss L'Amour. And I'm afraid that's my cue to excuse myself from your very charming company.
Oh, so soon? Good night.
Lady?
Why, Parker. You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
I've got a job as part-time bouncer, milady. I thought I might be more useful to you up here at the hotel.
Oh, Parker, we seem to be having very little success. How I would enjoy one of your splendid cups of tea.
Very good, milady. I'll fetch you some up at once.
Just right. Now tell me, how are your investigations going?
Well, milady, I did overhear your Mr. Holson talking to Benito, the head waiter. He was saying something about expecting a message tomorrow morning. Back at International Rescue Headquarters, Brains was still trying to solve the problem of the music.
How are the experiments going, Brains?
Well, Mr. Tracy, I definitely established that there's some kind of electronic pattern in the music. But I still got to decode the music before I'm sure there's a code in it.
The next morning, they set out on skis for Olsen's chalet, and from behind a bush, saw him sitting at a queer-looking contraption.
What's that machine he's working at?
I don't know. Some kind of electronic computer.
It was like a piano with hundreds of blinking lights on it and sounded like a church organ gone berserk. Then, as they watched, the pattern of the lights began to spell out some words. He was receiving details of the next rocket transporter flight. Lady Penelope, using the camera hidden in the handle of her ski stick, took pictures.
Did you get a close-up on it?
I certainly did. Come on. We've got to warn Jeff. I just can't get Brains and Alan to eat anything today. They say they haven't got time.
Well, Mother, they've just got to get the combination of this code cracked.
Well, it seems to me... Oh.
Go ahead, Penny.
Jeff, urgent news. We've traced the men who've been sabotaging the transporter planes.
Good work, Penny. Brains, are you there? I want you up here right away.
I'm on my way.
Okay, Penny. We gotta work fast.
Right. Now, Tintin's going to show you some of the evidence. Now, this, of course, was after that machine of his had done the translating for him.
That's it? Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of it before?
Think of what, Brains? What are you talking about?
That's it. It's a Cham.
A Cham?
What's a Cham, Brains?
A Cham is a new electronic machine that is sensitive to ultrasonic harmonics and microtones. Now that I know the technique they've been using, I'll soon break their code.
Right. We've got to save that next transporter aircraft.
Brains proved from the code that Holson had been getting messages to a foreign power, giving flight plans and times of the rocket transportation. This was how they were able to intercept and destroy them. At Mr. Tracy's command, Scott, in Thunderbird 1, was preparing to leave for Matthews Field to try and convince them of the threat to the next flight. Meanwhile, Virgil and Alan had taken off for Paradise Peaks, with orders to stand by in case of emergency.
All right, Cass. Let's try to tune this way tonight. There's just a few minor modifications.
But, Mr. Olson, I don't see what the point is.
Look, Cass, never mind the objections. When we drew up that contract, you agreed to do it my way.
Yeah, okay then. We'll change the arrangement for the broadcast.
That's my boy. Now, you better let the other fellas know. You're on in 5 minutes.
Thanks, Mr. Olson.
Kaz, if you must alter the arrangement, you must change it to our way.
Look, Tintin, believe me, if you ask me to play dangerous game on 3/4 time, I'd do it. But I'd still want to know why.
Kaz, don't let's go into that again. I can't tell you how I came to be involved in all this. Just trust me, please.
Right, boys, it's nearly time for the broadcast. Now, let's see what's happening at Paradise Peaks. Brains, are you ready?
Yes, Mr. Tracy. I told Penelope how to alter the arrangement to divert those enemy fighters. I just hope they can persuade Cass Carnaby to play it that way instead of Olson's.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to present the Cass Carnaby 5.
Oh, dear. Only Penelope can save us now.
She'd done it. Lady Penelope had talked Cass Carnaby into playing her arrangement of dangerous game. The time had now come for us to scatter, and quick. So while they were still playing, we left to catch the cable car. It was up to Scott now.
This is International Rescue calling Matthews Field Control. A short time ago, we tried to tell you that your transporter craft was about to be destroyed by enemy fighters, but you would not listen. I am now to inform you that we have diverted these fighters and they are about to overfly the outskirts of this airfield.
That must be the 3 unidentified aircraft we just received a report about.
Call action stations.
Yes, sir.
These aircraft must be destroyed.
Yes, sir.
So, International Rescue have done it again.
Oh, dear, I feel dreadful slipping away like this. We haven't even paid our bill.
Well, it's the only way to avoid Mr. Olson.
I wonder where he can be.
Good. The 3 of them. Now to make sure they don't interrupt any more broadcasts.
That's strange. We've stopped. What was that?
I don't like this at all.
Olson, cut that out!
But Mr. Carnaby was just too late. Paulson had cut almost through the cable. With nothing to hold it, we started to roll.
You crazy fool, the cables are free! That car will never stop!
What's that? Hey, just look at that. He's cut the cable.
Thunderbird 2 calling Penelope. Come in, Penelope.
Loud and clear, Virgil.
Look, Penelope, you're going to have to give us a hand with this. Let me talk to Parker. Gee, I hope Parker's got a good head for heights.
Virgil wanted me to climb out onto the roof to catch the cables that he lured and attach them to the car. If I didn't, there seemed no hope at all of stopping us. And don't mind telling you, I was petrified. By now we were tearing along at a terrific speed and swaying all over the place.
Right. Lowering cables. Now.
It's a good job there was plenty to hang on to up there. The force of the wind against me nearly pulled me off several times. It didn't look as though we would make it. There wasn't much further to go.
Parker, use this.
With Thunderbird 2 flying just overhead, the cables were lowered. The terrific slipstream made it difficult to catch them. But with the aid of her ladyship's umbrella, I caught the first one and attached it to the roof. Then, ever so slowly it seemed, I managed to grab and attach 2 more before we were too close. By now, we could see the end of the run and the crowd standing, watching.
He won't make it. He won't make it in time.
Hurry, Parker. Hurry.
Right, Alan. Stand by with retros.
Standing by.
Now!
The terrific jolt as Thunderbird 2 took the strain was too much. I was jerked right off the roof and landed smack in a deep snowdrift. But Lady Penelope and Tintin were saved. The cable car came to a standstill with only yards left to go. Cool. 'Twas a glad that was over. You'll never catch me on one of those things again. Not for all the tea and wormwood scrubs. Mr. Carnaby handed that geezer Holson over to the police. And I'm happy to say that the rocket transporter plane had no trouble getting through after the fasteners had been destroyed. Oh well, back to the pantry, I suppose. Cheerio for now.
listening to the Cham, the last in this series of Thunderbirds. It was produced for Radio 5 by Christopher Aldrich. We'll leave the final words with Jerry Anderson.
This is the last in the series of reminiscences courtesy of BBC Radio 5 and the old Century 2-1 record label. I do hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have. Maybe I can take this opportunity of thanking all the people who worked on the series. There were some 250 of them. They all helped to make Thunderbirds a legend. So from me, Jerry Anderson, FAB.